Let me take you back to the early 2000s, specifically 2004, where at that time The Sims was probably at its peak, finishing off with The Sims 1, well, original Sims, and then releasing Sims 2. But with that came this sort of like need to try and tackle the console market, and they wanted to make a more edgy, weird version of The Sims, which they came out with this. If you've never seen this game before, most people have forgotten about it. This game is the Urbz Sims in the city. Now, I feel like this game scratches a very specific itch to a certain gamer generation, particularly my age, so you're sort of late to mid 30s. And I'm not surprised many people haven't played this game, especially Sims fans, just because it's one of the only two Sims games that were never released on the PC platform. But it was released on everything else. But most notably, the one thing that I love about this game, the one thing that people don't bring up enough, is that the whole of the Black Eyed Peas feature in this game and have even recorded many of their songs in Simish. It's mental. Just listening to that now, I just can't believe it's something that actually exists. I don't think they at the time thought the Black Eyed Peas were ever going to be as big as they eventually got, but that's wild. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about the Urbz Sims in the city. But just before that, if you do enjoy my videos, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below if you remember anything about the Urbz. Now, the Urbz Sims in the City, which I'm just going to keep referring it to as the Urbz from now on, it came out in 2004, and it was pretty much released for everything at the time. It came out on the GBA, the GameCube, which is the version I'm playing at the moment, the PS2, Xbox, and the Nintendo DS. And unlike other Sims games, it actually has a little bit of a plot to it, like it has a storyline. In this game, you move to your sort of like house, I guess it is, or like I think it's your grandma's house, gives you this flat in the middle of Sim Town or whatever it's called, Sim City, that's it. And you actually have a goal to become the most popular sim around. Now, how you do this is you go from district to district, just basically like showing off, being sociable. There's loads of like little mini games, these like power social moves with these really freaky close up like zoom ins of your character. The fact that your character's not popular at the start of the game, despite knowing pretty much all of the Black Eyed Peas outright, is weird, but you know, you get used to that sort of thing in Sims. But yeah, in summary, you go from district to district, just getting a better rep gets you better items get you more rep, and eventually become the most popular princess in all of town, and it's amazing. Naturally, I started off by going to Grand Central Station as my first district, because that's where all the goths hang out, and I've been listening to a lot of Avril Lavigne this week, so I was like, that's my jam. Strangely enough, the Game Boy Advance version and the Nintendo DS version and the N-Gage of all consoles version of this game was actually, the storyline to them games was actually a direct sequel to the Sims busting out handhelds, which is probably interesting to someone. Now, going back to this game, playing it for the first time in probably about 20 years, made me realise how stupidly hard the controls are, because it wants you to use the controls like a mouse and keyboard, and it just doesn't really work. But I don't know whether it was because it was the GameCube controller, but it just wasn't having it. The other thing that you got to remember in the Urbz is that you don't just buy stuff like you can for your flat. You actually have to go out and shop, which is cool. It's interesting, but it's very annoying, because I wanted to deck out my house straight away, and the game was like, no, sorry, you can't do that. You have to actually like go to the shop. And like, I play video games to get away from my real life. Don't want to actually have to do stuff in game as well, you know. But you know, I'll let it off. This game came out in 2004. While playing this game as well, I realised how The Sims or the Urbz just traps you into playing this game for absolutely hours for seemingly no reason. They are objectively very fun games. Now, what I did say earlier is that when you want to buy stuff in this game, you actually have to go into the city to buy stuff. There's different things you can buy at different districts. But what you also have to do is actually work. And most of the work in this is a series of quick time events, but honestly, if I went to a piercing shop and saw someone someone working with this much energy, I would be petrified. I would not let that person anywhere near me for any sort of piercing, any sort of tattoo or anything like that. Majority of the time she's just spinning around doing it from behind her back, which I don't think is safe at all. Now, there is a good variety of jobs that you can do in this game, and they all pay different amounts, and they will have little different mini games to them. You can do anything from what you're seeing here, working in the piercing sort of factory, or you can be a glamour model, and it's basically wherever you pick in the first bit of the game. That's it. You can go and do that job. If you're actually trying to play this game for like legitimate reasons and you want to get as much money as possible, start in the high district, become a glam model. It gets you a shitload of money to start the game. But if you're true to yourself and your inner emo is screaming at you, you start in Central Station and work your way up to the top. You know, some people are just built different. One of the things I can't really get used to in this game is every time you complete one of your goals that you have, you get this super close up of your character, and it freaks me out every time. Look how psychotic that is. Just like screaming at the camera. She looks a little bit like Nazi from The Craft, but you know, like madness. Why did they ever think that that was a good idea and wasn't going to cause any sort of childhood trauma? But yeah, that's been me talking about the Urbz Sims in the City, a 2004 game for console only that has kind of been lost to time. But let me know if you remember this game, or if you even like this game, or if you're a big fan of The Sims in general. You should also comment below if you know of any other Sims games that let you get into an MMA cage and have a massive fight with someone. Just curious if there's a way to do that in any other games, or if it's just unique to the Urbz, because I think it's a pretty unique thing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to bring you out plenty of more retro gaming videos over the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much for watching.